Have you ever felt that tightness in your chest when you realized the person you pushed away was exactly the one who always truly understood you? There's a moment in Better Call Saul that won't leave my head. And if you've watched the series, I bet this moment hits you in a way that few others managed to. I'm talking about that call Jimmy McGill makes to Kim Wexler from inside prison after finally admitting everything those seconds before the phone rings on the other end of the line. You can feel the weight of them, can't you? Because this scene isn't just about one character calling another. It's about a man who spent years building an armor of lies, jokes, and fake personas, finally taking off the mask. And the most painful part, he can only do this when he's already lost everything. Think with me for a second. Jimmy McGill spent 6 entire seasons transforming into Saul Goodman. He built an entire identity based on running away from who he really was. And the only person who always saw through all of it, who always knew Jimmy underneath Saul, was Kim. The person he loved, the person he pushed away. Throughout the entire series, Kim told him, "You don't have to be like this. You're better than this." And what did Jimmy do? He dove deeper and deeper into the mud because it was easier to be Saul Goodman, the unscrupulous lawyer, than to face Jimmy McGill, the guy with a broken heart and a brother who never respected him. Now, take a deep breath and follow me through this moment. The call happens after Jimmy did something nobody expected. He confessed not just the minor crimes, not just enough to get the deal, he told everything. Admitted his part in Howard Hamlin's death, destroyed the deal that would have him out in 7 years and traded it for 86 years in prison. 86 years. Why? Because Kim was in the room, because she was watching him, and for the first time in a long time, Jimmy McGill cared more about what she thought of him than about saving his own skin. When he picks up that phone in prison with his hands cuffed and dials her number, man, you can see it in his eyes. That fragile hope, because he doesn't know if she answered, doesn't know if she still cares, doesn't know if after everything he did, after all the lies, there's still anything between them. And then she answers, "Kim." His voice trembles. It's not Saul Goodman talking. It's not Slippin' Jimmy. It's just Jimmy. Vulnerable, broken, real. And you know what he tells her? "You were right about me." 5 words. 5 simple words that carry the weight of 6 entire seasons. Because all this time, Kim saw potential in him, saw goodness, saw someone who could be better, and Jimmy spent years proving she was wrong, or trying to prove it. But in the end, in the moment that really mattered, he proved she was right, that somewhere deep down, Jimmy McGill still existed, and that he still cared what she thought. Put yourself in his shoes for a moment. Imagine carrying that guilt, that regret, knowing you destroyed the best thing that ever happened in your life. Knowing you had the chance to be better and chose the easier path, the most destructive one. This call is about redemption. Not Hollywood redemption, where everything resolves with a hug and an emotional soundtrack. It's real redemption. The kind that hurts. The kind that costs everything. Jimmy chose truth when it would bring him nothing but more suffering. He chose to be honest when lying would have been so much easier. And Kim, the expression on her face when he says those words, you see everything there. The pain of everything they lost. The pride of seeing he finally did the right thing. The sadness of knowing it doesn't change anything. That he'll still spend the rest of his life in prison. That they still lost everything. But there's something else in that look. Something that makes this scene absolutely devastating and beautiful at the same time. It's recognition. Kim finally sees she wasn't wrong about him. That man she loved, that good man she saw underneath all the layers of self-destruction. He was still there. He was just buried so deep he had to lose literally everything to resurface. You know what's the cruel truth Better Call Saul shows us through this call? Sometimes doing the right thing doesn't save you, doesn't fix what was broken, doesn't recover lost time. Jimmy made the right choice, finally, after years of making the wrong ones. And what was the result? 86 years in prison, a wasted life, but he did it anyway. Because in the end, he cared more about the truth, about being honest with Kim, than about his own freedom. Is this true love? Or is it just guilt? Maybe it's both. Maybe in the world of Better Call Saul, where people are complex and imperfect and deeply human, love and guilt are inseparable. What makes this scene so powerful is that it doesn't offer easy answers. It doesn't say Jimmy redeemed himself and now everything's fine. Because it's not fine. It will never be fine. Howard is still dead. Chuck is still dead. Jimmy will still die in prison. Kim will still carry this guilt for the rest of her life. But in those few seconds of phone conversation, with glass separating them, handcuffs on his wrists, and years of pain between the two, there's something, a connection, a recognition, a truth finally spoken. You are right about me. Think about how many times in life we ignore the people who really know us, the people who see our potential and try to help us reach it. How many times do we choose the easy path, the convenient lie, the fake persona, because it's more comfortable than facing who we really are? Jimmy McGill spent years doing this, and only when he was at the absolute bottom of the pit, when he had nothing left to lose, did he finally have the courage to be honest with himself, with Kim, with the world. The genius of Better Call Saul is showing us this journey without easy judgments. The series doesn't say Jimmy is a villain or a hero. It shows he's human, flawed, capable of great kindness and great destruction. And that, in the end, the choice is always his. That call represents the moment when Jimmy finally makes the right choice. Too late, maybe, but he does it. And that means something. It might not change the world. It might not save him, but it means something to Kim. And more importantly, it means something to him. Because for the first time in a long time, Jimmy McGill can look at himself in the mirror and not completely hate himself. He can wear his handcuffs knowing he finally told the truth, that he finally honored the woman who loved him, that he was finally worthy of the trust she placed in him, even if it's too late to matter. And Kim, she can move forward knowing she wasn't wrong. That man she saw potential in really existed.